There was a case in 1876 where a Pickford delivery driver called Charles Cross ran over and killed a young child in Islington. It was reported in a couple of newspapers. We don't know for sure whether this was the same Charles Cross. There was another, coincidentally, another Charles Cross who was a carman in London at the time, so it could conceivably have been him. But if it was our Charles Cross, it's strange that the only two times he calls himself Charles Cross, where he himself chooses to call himself Charles Cross, are when he kills a child. He was acquitted of it. The father of the child thought that he was driving without due care and attention and ran over this young tot and crushed him to death under the wheels of his cart, but he got off it. I say got off it. The only two times when he used the name Cross that we know of is when he was in court for killing this young child, and when he was found over there by Robert Paul, standing right next to this freshly slain body of a woman, where the signs were that the culprit had been recently disturbed. That's a strange tie-up, isn't it?
The inquest into Walter Williams's death was held on Wednesday the 27th of December, and the Islington Gazette featured a summary of the proceedings in its edition of Friday the 29th of December. The first witness was the deceased's father, Walter Williams, of 36 Cloudsley Road, who told the court that on Thursday last he was told that his boy was run over and killed. He made inquiries, and he had reason to blame the driver, as he believed that he had not exercised proper care. The next witness was George Porter, a traveller, who said that on Thursday at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon he was outside his brother's shop at 3 Elizabeth Terrace when he witnessed the accident. He saw a Pickford's van going towards Liverpool Road, and he saw the deceased and another child about to cross the road. The driver called out, and the witness then saw the deceased reel against the near side shaft of the van, about 2 feet from the pavement. The driver tried to pull up, but the wheels went over the deceased. Henrietta Owen of 100 Aldenham Street said that she was in Elizabeth Terrace on the day in question, and she saw the child run over. The van was going slowly. One child drew back, but the deceased was caught by the wheel. Dr. Hindhoff of Barnsbury Road deposed that the deceased was brought to his surgery in a dying state. The cause of death was internal injuries and fracture of an arm. William Warner of 25 Henry Street deposed to having seen the accident and said that he heard the driver shout, but the horse was then on the child. The final witness was the driver himself, Charles Cross, carman to Pickford & Co., who told the court that he was crossing with his van from Copenhagen Street to Elizabeth Street when 2 children seemed to come from behind a trap that was standing on the offside, all in an instant, running against his horses. He tried to pull up, but he found that it was impossible. It was more than apparent that the death of little Walter Williams had been nothing more than a tragic accident. The boy had stepped out from behind a parked-up trap, and despite his best efforts, Charles Cross had been unable to bring the horse-drawn van to a halt before it ran over the boy. The jury therefore returned a verdict of accidental death and expressed their opinion that the driver of the van was not to blame.
The only 2 times when he used the name Cross that we know of is when he was in court for killing this young child, and when he was found over there by Robert Paul, standing right next to this freshly slain body of a woman, where the signs were that the culprit had been recently disturbed.